Hello again, Saber fans. After such a positive reception of my last video on the Saberforge Saber, I have decided to do some other reviews of some other hilts that I've had throughout the years. I will be getting a Corbant hilt at the end of the summer, hopefully, and I will be more than happy to do a review on that. It's the DV6, not a very produced hilt. A lot of people don't like it for some reason. It's seriously like my favorite Sith saber. It's a Darth Vader's from Return of the Jedi. Love it. But today I'm going to be doing a review on two master replica sabers that I have. The first being Qui-Gon, and the second being Obi-Wan from Episode 3. I'm going to call this my Master and Apprentice video because of the two. We're going to do them each individually, and I'll try to give you as much little stats as I can, a little background of them as I go along. First, we'll begin with Qui-Gon. As I said, we will begin with the Episode 1 Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber from Master Replicas. Qui-Gon Jinn was one of my favorite Jedi in Episode 1. He continues to be one of my favorite Jedi throughout the series. I was very upset being a student in 2nd grade at the time and seeing this with my mother in the theaters. I was pretty upset when he died at the end. Of course, it seems like all my favorite characters die. But I bought this. It was produced in 2006. I probably bought it somewhere around that time, maybe a little bit later. I was able to get this off eBay for $200, which I'm sure if you look today, you may be able to find some around that range, but as Master Replicas is no longer making them, I'm sure that they will become harder and harder to find. They came with what they called a museum quality base, which was a mirrored base, had two acrylic stands that popped out of the mirror, and then they had an acrylic cover that went over the top. Along with that, you got the plaque. So the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber. It's a limited edition, so it's 858 out of 2,500. The Obi-Wan lightsaber was actually made before this, so I'm assuming they did multiple runs. I'm not sure what actually makes this a limited edition. Maybe it's because it actually came with the case. I know some just came with a little lightsaber stand. But it is a limited run. I know you can buy hilts like this empty and do your own install. I know Saberforge offers a hilt. I believe it's called the Guardian. I'm not completely sure. I know Ultra Sabers also offers a hilt, so I will put both those links down in the description if you're interested. It's a pretty hefty saber. I would not recommend, cosplaying with it just because it does have some weight. After this close-up shot here, I will put it on the scale and tell you how much it does weigh. In my opinion, it would look... maybe not look, but it would feel pretty weird to have this hanging off of your belt just because of how much it does weigh. And then the CoverTech wheel. That does work with a normal CoverTech system. I must have some flour on my counter. And then you have the windows in the back. Goes up. And then this side is pretty symmetrical to the other. One thing I love about this saber is that it does have the cut grooves down to this, I think that's maybe aluminum. Sort of taps like plastic. I believe it's aluminum. But anyway, lots of detail in the saber. It is machined aluminum. It has the anodized black parts. So here, pommel. Like I said, it was produced in 2006. See, not much detail up here, but on the bottom it has the 2006 Lucasfilm and then 2006 Master Replicas. The saber, it measures about 11.5 inches. So I'd say probably about average. So the width of the pommel is about 1.63 inches. Width of the emitter is about 1.74. And the average width is about 1.43. So I say it's probably about average for a saber, especially for it being about 11 and, 11 and a half, somewhere around there. 11 and some inches. And like I said, it does have an incredible heft to it. You pull out the scale here. Wait for it to boot up. Alright, it weighs 1.15 pounds. So it's not horrible, but it does have some heft. So it probably would feel weird hanging off of your belt. Beautiful replica. Like I said, I don't think you'll be able to find this for under, I'd say at least under $300. And if you're going to buy it, you're buying it for Master Replica's name alone, because you can definitely buy something that isn't just a static prop for as much as you're going to pay for this. I mean, I was asked once if you would be able to do your own build on this. I thought possibly at the time, but after looking at it now for this review, it's a solid lightsaber. There'd be, by the amount of time and effort you would put into trying to convert this, you would probably ruin the prop. There goes $300 that you spent on the prop that you ruined, and then you'd end up going and buying an empty. But I would definitely just keep it as it is, keep it in the case, and keep it on the shelf. It is, as the saber community calls, a shelf queen. Or in this case, king, I would say. So we're going to move on from the Master Replicas Qui-Gon, and we will move on to probably my favorite is the Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3 lightsaber. If you watched my Saber Forge review video, you may remember me saying that Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi lightsaber is probably my favorite lightsaber ever. I mean, it's not so conventional with the control box right here and the jagged edges, but I love it all the same. This is, once again, machined aluminum, just like the Qui-Gon. Has these anodized black parts, chrome-plated pommel, chrome-plated control box and the band around, chrome-plated emitter, polished brass, and painted brass. This isn't brass at all, I'm sure. That's just machined aluminum. Made it look like it. It's a very nice saber. It's probably my favorite. And I'll probably tell you why it's my favorite. One, it's very close to Return of the Jedi. And two, it is my favorite because I got it off Craigslist for $125. You will never, unless there's someone that doesn't know what they have, you will never find this saber for $125. I am very fortunate and very lucky that I perused Craigslist on a fairly decent basis and was able to find it and make a deal with the guy, and he accepted. So I got this lightsaber for $125. Much like the Qui-Gon, it comes with its museum quality, mirrored base, acrylic, and then it has the cover that goes on top. Unfortunately, the cover is cracked, so I will have to invest in one of those eventually, but for the time being, it looks quite nice. It also comes with the plaque. So here we have Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber, limited edition, 3010. I'm not quite sure what the actual edition number is, how many they actually made, but I have 3010. Take a closer look here. Like the Qui-Gon, Master Replicas was actually able to get the prop and pull all the detail from that. Very, very shiny. Very, very nice. It is definitely a conversation piece. If you have fans, if you have fan friends, I unfortunately do not have as many that I can show this off to as often as I like. Very shiny. The grenade part of the hilt is nice. You can see my very oblong face in it. Very, very shiny. Very, very nice. I know I keep saying that, but it's quite an impressive piece of art. We can move down here and then get a little bit quicker. Pretty much the same. Like the Qui-Gon, CoverTech knob will work in a normal CoverTech system. Like I said, I would not recommend using this for cosplay because, one, it's very, very expensive, and you do not want some pesky Jawa at a convention to take this. It would be a very, very sad day for you. But it's very, very accurate. Like I said, very hefty. Let's see if its length. It measures about 11 inches. So a little bit shorter than the Qui-Gon. Let's do its width. Okay, at the pommel, if we're getting these little squared edges here, measure those. It is about 1.73. It gets a little bit shorter here at the actual pommel, 1.14. At the grenaded piece, so it's actually even shorter, it goes 1.38. At the emitter, it is 1.2. Well, at this piece here, it is 1.23, and then at the emitter, it is actually 1.95. So it's all pretty. I'd say it's all pretty symmetrical. There's no really very large parts on it. Much like the Qui-Gon feels perfect in the hand. This also feels very good in the hand. I mean, the control box probably takes some getting used to. Your hands naturally want to go down here and to go here. But very good in the hand. Not really. You can't really do anything with it like you would be able to do an actual saber forge, or Ultra Sabers, Vader's Vault Saber. Much like the Qui-Gon, it is a shelf king. It will sit there in its case and it will look pretty. It's a very nice saber. Like I said, you'll be lucky to get it for $125. If you do, you can comment and tell me how wrong I was, but I believe you'll probably be spending somewhere towards $400 and up to get a saber like this. At that time, like I said, much like the Qui-Gon, you're only buying it for the name of Master Replicas and the quality. At that point, I would just buy a saber from, I believe Saber Forge has an Obi-Wan Kenobi saber that's like this. I believe it's called the Redeemer. I'm not completely positive, but Redeemer. A Saber Forge. I don't believe Ultra Sabers has a replica like this. So if they do, I'll be happy to put the link down in the description for you to go check them out. But these two combined, I mean, they're quite awesome sabers. I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, I have a very small collection of Master Replica sabers. And these are, I would say, at the price I paid, they were definitely worth the money. At the prices you'll pay today for one, depending on your situation, I wouldn't pay $400 for this because I'm a cheap bastard. But if you would be able to get them in like the $200-300 range, and you have the money, and money's no object. Unfortunately, money is an object to me, and I need that to not get, evicted like most people. I would spend the money on it because it is a very awesome piece of your collection. You can definitely come in and say, look, I have this saber, and it's 151 out of 3,500, or something along those lines. But very awesome, very heavy, very durable, very, very solid. You're not doing any of your own installs on these, I can tell you that much right now. Made to sit on the shelf, look pretty, and impress your friends and family. I'll be doing a second video on the other parts of the other 3 sabers that I have. I have a Darth Vader Episode 4, A New Hope. I have 2 Episode 3 sabers. One's an Anakin, and then one is Yoda, and I would be more than happy to do a review on those in the coming weeks. If you enjoyed this video, you can definitely leave a like. You can leave a dislike if you like. Doesn't matter to me, and it just knows that someone is watching these videos. I'm hoping that the saber community enjoys them in some way or another. If you have any questions, you can definitely leave a comment. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Someone leaves a comment, I try very hard to get back, especially if they have a question. I know how irritating that can be if you have a question and no one seems to want to answer it. But I will be there. I will be there for you. But anyway, like I said, thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Alright, thanks again.